Alright, we've got Dead Zone versus Virtual Damage. It's looking like nobody has won yet, and furthermore, Dark Simorgh is a very good card versus Dead Zone's deck. Despair from the Dark into the Dark Simorgh, meaning Dead Zone can go ahead and set cards now. Virtual Damage is playing no extra deck whatsoever. Really, really kind of incredible. You would almost think just because you're playing Harpyqueen and like, oh, that's hysterical. That's going to be Destruction Cyclone popping Dead Zone's entire board. Yeah, you would almost think that you would want to just, like, run a Utopia for fun, just because Harpyqueen is on hand. So that's going to be a Battle Fader, stopping this Simorgh Bird of Ancestry. But for right now, Virtual Damage has the upper hand. And that's going to be an MST on the back row, which gets the Solemn Warning, and that is going to be Battle Fader. Surely not you, Bell. Yeah, that's going to be another Harpyqueen to search a Harpy's Hunting Ground, and that's going to be an activated Harpy's Hunting Ground. Now that bird is at 3,100. Ha-ha! That is the Despair from the Dark. Well done, Virtual Damage. Oh, damn. Dead Zone just doesn't have much to do. Maybe a Battle Fader in hand, but still not the best situation to be in. Unless this is a Gores. If this is a Gores, Dead Zone might get a really good swing here. It's not a Gores, it's a Tragodia, but if Dead Zone gets an 8, this is still potentially a really good swing. Alright, so Dead Zone doesn't have the 8 to discard to take out the Simorgh. Hopefully Virtual Damage knows that you pretty much immediately take out Tragodia here. He doesn't need to think about it because he's got a second Simorgh. That's a Tour Guide. Why would you not use Tour Guide's effect at this point? Because you're out of Fiends in the deck. That is hilarious. Alright, Dead Zone has the U-Bell. We will see how long that lasts him. Pre-Mat is quite good here. Yeah, that's always going to be a Sangan. Pitching the Sangan, presumably grabbing a Battle Fader, maybe Meta Ion. No, it's just Necro Gardener for now. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good tribute off of U-Bell. Alright, so the question is, did Virtual Damage plan with a Soul Taker, either in main or side deck? Premature Burial. Dark, oh, no. This is a good move because it destroys that back row. That's pretty neat. So if that is TT, yep, unfortunately Virtual Damage is punished here, but he still hasn't normal summoned this turn. He may not be able to bother at this point. Alright, that is U-Bell Terror Incarnate. Virtual Damage is going to send it back. Dead Zone is going to get a chance to take out Virtual Damage's back row. Sets another card, send it back to Virtual Dark Simorgh is up. Okay, so does Virtual Damage have a Soul Taker or something similar to follow this up? That is not a bad one. Tributes the Dark Simorgh to stack Terror Incarnate. Oh, it's not stack, it goes to the bottom of the deck. Okay, so now we have the Ultimate Nightmare on hand. And this can just be destroyed by any old random removal card. It'll be extremely funny if Dead Zone decks out from this position. Simorgh Bird of Divinity is a very interesting one. Virtual, your deck is fascinating. We have two different games where things have gone a little bit off the rails. It looks like Hamyton is just gonna forfeit round one for, once again, forgetting to remove the Asmo. And then over here, U-Bell Ultimate Nightmare is in the graveyard along with U-Bell Terror Incarnate whenever Terror Incarnate's effect activates. I don't have any reason to believe that this wouldn't work this way. Yeah, Virtual, I am fairly certain that it works that way because both of them just go to the graveyard. Kylan's agrees both destroy, then both activate. Normal meta Ion for game. And that is going to be game 1 in favor of Dead Zone. Alright, Virtual Damage versus Dead Zone game 2. Virtual, I hope you have some sufficient sides for stall decks. Now I am gonna go ahead and watch the Hamyton versus Aslion game for a little bit. Aslion has the Tetran. Hamyton is thinking about it, is gonna let that go. And in the process will lose a Solemn Warning. I personally would have shotgunned that. If Hamyton doesn't have a means to take out that Tetran, his inability to set cards going forward could become a really big problem. So Hamyton has a Heavy Storm, so it looks like he may be fine in regards to the Tetran. If he just summons another monster here, he can take care of it. And that's going to be Tyler the Great Warrior. Hamyton's not going to get Tyler's powerful effect off this turn, but he will take off all of Tetran's counters. Alright, so that is Tetran just out of uses, and Hamyton with 2 big guys and a set card. So we've got the Dragoonity Knight that summons the ducks back out. Special, not the ducks, the Felix back out. Felix gets back onto the field. It's looking like someone from the Dark lost versus Windy, so we'll go ahead and enter that in really quick. Red Dragon Archfiend is a good one. And using the Tetran also is a pretty solid move. So that's going to be Red Dragon Archfiend into the Junethequeen. It's Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon! Okay. Nice. Okay, so that is going to be, presumably we're gonna go into, like, Scrap Dragon here to take out the Tyler the Great Warrior? Yes, that is going to be the move. Scrap Dragon will, pop itself and Tyler, leaving the Red MD up on the field. So that's going to be a Dust Tornado, so unfortunately Aslion cannot defend against this, and looks like he never could defend against it anyway. That is just a Terraforming. But Hamyton does not find a monster, which means Aslion gets to use this very powerful effect again. And he can summon the fucking Scrap Dragon too, damn. What are we looking at? Okay, Raigeki Break to pop the Red MD. That is solid. I won by a Leviathan Dragon beatdown. Oh, good lord. Dead Zone, was that a 2-0 on your part? And I am just going to have everybody in the Discord just keep going. Dead Zone, you are up against Windy Knight next, and it looks like Raan is up against Flol. Aslion and Hamyton are still in progress. Yep, Aslion has the Dark Bribe to keep the Raigeki Break from stopping his attack and letting the Blue Eyes White Dragon get through. We've got a Dragon Ravine. Ah, and Aslion has the Sinister Serpent too. You need to win. They are coming for me. Kylan's, you are doing really, really well in the tournament. You've gotten super far in the winner's bracket. Congratulations. I believe the winner of this game is going to be your next opponent. Yes, whoever wins this game will be playing against Kylan's for essentially almost the finals, so that's pretty exciting. Alright, Aslion has gotten good old Brionac up on the field. Hamyton is able to chain the Threatening Roar to keep from taking any damage this turn. Heat Wave. Man, Heat Wave isn't very good, is it? We will... Oh, shit! That is likely really, really bad for Hamyton. And Heat Wave does very little at this point. Aslion is going to get the Sinister Serpent back, is able to pitch it for Brianak to get that back row before anything else happens. Heatwave into Synchros isn't bad. That is fair, but it is kind of bad whenever the board is already established. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. It may have saved Hamyton here, depending on what Aslion has on hand. We'll see if Hamyton can make it one more turn, though. If this Brianak sticks around, things are going to look quite grim for him. That's a pretty good one. And that will take care of the Brianak at this point. Oh, the problem is Hamyton doesn't have a back row, so this is just the end of the game. Yep. Hamyton taking a loss for not building his deck properly, and then in the end, unfortunately, just couldn't stand up to Hamyton. How is this deck good? Dragoonity is pretty solid. It's like very easy to scale up to a rank 8. Dragon Ravine is pretty cool. Yeah, playing Terraforming is a little bit of an interesting one here. But hey, in the end, Aslion got the W, and he's going to be playing against Kylans for essentially the end of the winner's bracket. So we are moving along pretty well here. Alright, Windy Knight gets to sound off the Dark World Lightning means of making Yubel miss timing. This is very close to just straight up the end of the game. The end of Game 2 specifically. Okay, Kylan's admitted defeat in Game 1. I'm really glad that the winner's finals is Hero Rock versus Dragoonity. That is exactly what I wanted from this tournament. So Dead Zone was able to take Game 1. Windy got exact lethal for Game 2, so it all comes down to this one. Yeah, let's stick around with this game for a little while, see how it pans out. So Dead Zone is going to go Tour Guide into Sangan. It is really interesting to me that Dead Zone is playing number 17 Leviathan Dragon. So that is going to be a Sangan. So Windy Knight is going to take a considerable amount of damage here, but they are going to have a nifty little search for next game. And that's going to be a Battle Fader. That's a pretty solid one. They're not going to use it for the time being. Dead Zone is pretty solidly ahead at this point in terms of monsters and back row. That is a good one, though. That's going to be this guy who's going to destroy Despair from the Dark. Now, the unfortunate part is Windy has already used their one spell per turn. So there's a good chance Dead Zone has, yep, that is going to be Solemn Warning on the Grapha. So having the Battle Fader on hand does give Windy a little bit of safety here. Windy has the Battle Fader. I love that my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament is an alt format, alt BANLIST tourney. Yeah, I was thinking about that whenever I started playing junior format. As somebody who never had, like, in real life Yu-Gi-Oh! Friends growing up, and therefore never really played much of the TCG, except for what I have currently played with Sophie in Double Progression Trouble. It's very funny for your only Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience to be in, like, a silly alt format situation. So, Windy Knight is a little bit down bad in this situation, but they do have the advantage of already having the Gates of the Dark World activated, and then having their spell card in addition to that, as well as a Grapha in the graveyard. Ideally, they would have something to take care of Dead Zone's back row, but we will see. at the end of my 7-year tournament hiatus was returning to 2008, and I found that even funnier. Was '08 whenever we saw the reign of Dad? Is that what that era is? We've got a snow on hand. I was gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh back in 2008, but the tournaments were at 3 when I had to work, so I played Dragon Ball instead. Yeah, these things happen. So the Dead Zone has a Chaos Trap Hole to banish the Grapha. That's pretty solid. Alright, Dead Zone uses Sangan to take out the Battle Fader. Never even saw the anime, but their tournaments were at 11. Alright, Dead Zone's gonna switch Sangan to defense. Go ahead and proc Sangan's effect. Go ahead and grab a U-Bell, send it back to Windy Knight. Windy has a Dust Tornado for Dead Zone's second Chaos Trap Hole. The Windy Knight is able to summon Gold Wu Lord of Dark World. Yeah, you know, just going ahead and attacking right into that U-Bell. Playing the Mirage of Nightmare, setting 1. No back row to set, which isn't the best thing in the world. Windy is going to be able to draw 1 card here, though. Dead Zone just tributes off a Battle Fader, is just chilling at this point. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. That Grapha is pretty solid. Ooh, the DD Crow! That's a good one, Dead Zone. That is pretty solid. Yeah, this is a weird one for sure. Although, I guess you can just, hopefully have another monster to, yeah, DD Crow is really solid in this format. Is going to go ahead and attack with gold. Unfortunately, does not seem to have another monster to take out Zen Mains. So Zen Mains is going to be able to, get on into U-Bell Terror Incarnate. Dead Zone gonna go to end phase, use Terror Incarnate to destroy the whole field. Windy Knight is gonna get a Sinister Serpent back, unless they choose not to, which would make a certain amount of sense with the Mirage of Nightmare up. Sinister Serpent is really good versus U-Bell. It means that Windy Knight is generally not gonna have to worry about having to take damage from U-Bell Terror Incarnate, keeping monsters not on the field. Because usually the trade with Terror Incarnate is you don't want to leave a monster set on the field because you're going to lose it during your opponent's end phase, but you don't want to set but you also don't want to not set a monster because your opponent can summon something and attack. We've got a tour guide from the underworld. That is a pretty good one. We're going to go into Zen Mains. Yep, that is going to proc Zen Mains, and it's going to flip U-Bell Terror Incarnate to U-Bell Ultimate Nightmare. U-Bell Terror Incarnate is a mandatory effect, so there is no skipping that. Dark World Lightning is a very good one. That may be the end of the game. Non-binary pride. Alright, so that's a pretty good chain to Dark World Lightning. This is a little bit unfortunate for Windy Knight, but... And that is going to be a Grapha, taking out Ultimate Nightmare. And Windy Knight is just going to sit on their laurels for now. Yeah, Bottomless Trap Hole is very good here. Dead Zone may just be out a U-Bell completely. Alright, that is the end of U-Bell. Alright, if Windy has a Dark Bribe set, they can 100% clean this up this turn. So we are going to discard the Battle Fader. So it looks like Windy doesn't have any relevant discards. But it's not like they necessarily need it anyway. Windy Knight, massively favored from this position. Hard to imagine what draw in Dead Zone's deck could conceivably get them out of this situation. That's not gonna do it. Doesn't Windy Knight 1,000,000% have a Grapha on hand? And not even a Necrogardna in Dead Zone's graveyard. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Just let the Yubel die! Oh, that's why you would do that. Okay, Windy knows more about this game than I do. Don't worry about it. Windy knows what they're doing. They've been chain blocking with Yubel this whole format. Alright, do we have a way to get Grapha on the field? Because if so, that is the end of the game. Still not getting the Grapha. Is Windy just completely out of fucking Dark World monsters at this point? Very strange that they haven't had a chance to get Grapha back onto the field. So that's going to be one back row that is going to be wind up in for all but 1,000. And that's just a lonely dust tornado. Doesn't do anything. One set card. Oh, and that's a compulse. That is the end of the game in Windy's favor. Congratulations to both of y'all. I talk a lot of shit about Dead Zone's deck, but it didn't look like an irritating piece of shit stall deck in this game. It just looked like something that had pretty good counterplay with Dark World. Only got 6 duelists left in the bracket, and Aslion is going to be sitting around waiting for a little bit. Alright, so the next game we're going to be watching is Junethequeen versus Raan. Those are the 2 decks which at this point I am not familiar with. Infinite removal. I never got to deck out. Dead Zone, that is a good thing. I don't know if you like are in a place to hear this, but it is a good thing that you never got to deck out. That means I've done at least some things good with this ban list. Alright, we are in the semi-finals of the losers bracket. We're gonna see how this game pans out. I don't believe I know either of these people's decks. I don't believe I've watched either of them play yet. Yes, Junethequeen is on Dragoonity. Y'all, if the finals are a Dragoonity mirror, I'm going to shit my pants. Absolutely hilarious. Is nobody playing zombies today? God, maybe I should have participated in this tournament. Are you in or are you out? Do you want to be in the room or out of the room? Do you know what you're doing, Charlie? What is this card? Okay, yeah, that is a real card that exists. So you can equip the Phalanx and special summon the Phalanx and get out a level 8 to start off. Now, which one are we going into? Scrap Dragon is a little bit interesting. Oh, Red Archfiend Dragon. Yeah, that makes complete sense. That's a good one to grab here. Yep, Red Dragon Archfiend is going to attack into Neo Aquamador. Not big enough to take it out by battle, but is going to pop it with its special ability. So, pretty good start for Junethequeen. We've got a copycat. Wait, is Raan on the Spellcaster's Village deck? Is that what we are playing at? I am down to clown with that. So it looks like Raan is going to trade the copycat for the Red Dragon Archfiend. We've got a Dragon Ravine to grab a Dragoonity Dux. Raan doesn't even have any kind of a back row to stop this, so Junethequeen is just straight up gonna get to climb to either a 6 or an 8, depending on what she prefers. And we are gonna go ahead and climb on into the 8. I wonder which one it's gonna be. Colossal Fighter would be pretty good. That is a soft once per turn. Phalanx is a pretty strong monster. Yep, Colossal Fighter is coming down. This guy has some really neat battle protection. It's not as the most amazing thing in the world with no clear warrior monsters in June's strategy, but still just a big 2800 beefy guy. Wait, none of these are warriors, right? Where is the 2900 from? I'm pretty sure it's just 28. Okay, Sorcerer de Fleur is pretty alright. It does not out the Colossal Fighter, though. As long as, well, June is just going to Torrential Tribute anyway to blow up to blow up Raan's normal summon. And we're passing it back to June. So that's going to be another Dragoonity Duck. So we're running it back. We might. I wouldn't be surprised if that TT was used on Colossal Fighter specifically because June plans on grabbing another one. Alright, so we're just skipping a couple of steps here, sending the 6, and making our way on up to the 8. I guess June is only rocking the one Colossal Fighter, which makes a certain amount of sense. It's possibly unfortunate, though. The Spellcaster deck operates on a lot of 2900s. And the way they are looking at June's graveyard makes me think, no, it's not going to be a Defleur. It is just going to be an Ice Queen, which is also going to take out the Dragon Ravine. Alright, so June summons a new Dragoonity, which unfortunately is going to get bottomless. Chaos Command Magician. Very interesting one. Meanwhile, we do have 3 spellcasters in the graveyard, so whenever Ice Queen is destroyed, although we don't have any spell cards in the graveyard, so I guess Ice Queen's effect cannot work anyway. June is at this point not respecting the Storm Shooter. I hope that doesn't come back to bite her. Ooh, that is possibly just the end of the game, unfortunately. Unless June has a Battle Fader or a similar hand trap, all of these cards can just go right ahead and plow over Zenmaines. Yep, that will do it. Alrighty, that is game 1 in favor of the Spellcaster box. Alrighty, we are moving into game 2. Let's see if Junethequeen can bounce back. After getting very close that first game, just unfortunately, Raan did get a couple of big spellcasters up. Starting off pretty good with a Dragon Ravine. Yeah, unfortunately, this is kind of the downside of double elimination. We do have to wait for some of these brackets to resolve themselves before we can get to the last couple of matches. Alright, so that is a Solidarity up. Just right off the bat, Raan is looking to boost the fuck out of their spellcasters. I really appreciate that the card art we decided on for Solidarity was the actual fucking Ojamas. Looks like June is gonna go for the back row, and that's a Solemn Warning. That's a pretty good hit. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on right off the bat. That's another Solidarity. The problem is Raan does need to get a spellcaster into their graveyard before those Solidarities are live. So June still has a little bit of time here. We're gonna go video off for a little while. We're just going to let this game play out a little bit. And of course, as soon as I turn my camera off, I spill something. Incredible timing on my part. Yeah, so we've got the Dragoonity Ducks. Alright, so Raan has the Effect Veiler to stop that Dragoonity Knight. And unfortunately, that Effect Veiler is going to turn on the Solidarity, so things may be quickly going off the rails for June from this position. It really depends on what that face-down card is. There's a pretty good one here with Solidarity. And that is going to be a cool 16. No, it's not. As it turns out, June does have the out in the Mirror Force. So that is going to be a secret village of the spellcasters. Probably not the best course of action to activate it now. Yep, we're going to send it on back to June. Let's see what she can get done this turn. Ooh, and we have a White Stone of Legend as a way to tune into 7s. and Search of Blue Eyes White Dragon at the same time. Unfortunately, Blue Eyes White Dragon loses to Raan's entire deck with 2 Solidarity up. Okay, so we're syncing up into an AFD to search the Blue Eyes White Dragon. That's going to be the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And June is going to leave it at that. No use of the Ancient Fairy Dragon's effect. Honestly, I feel like Black Rose Dragon would have been better here as a way to just blow up both of the solidarities. Yeah, because, like, June would still be taking some damage, but now she has a completely unoutable Chaos Command Magician to deal with, unfortunately. Yeah, this is a rough situation to be in. That Chaos Command Magician is all the way up to 4,000 attack and can't be targeted by monster effects. Plus, June can't activate any spell cards unless she gets a spellcaster on her side of the field. This may be, that is a good one, though. Tour Guide from the Underworld is pretty solid. The problem is Zenmain's target, so it still is not an out for the Chaos Command Magician. Alright, so yeah, June is going to sync the tour guides into the wind-up. Still not really respecting the Storm Shooter, although I guess it's kind of a safe bet that Raan probably isn't playing anything other than spellcasters. So draw standby main. Yeah, from this position, June is pretty down bad, and that may make things even worse. Now, I will say, if this face-down card is Mirror Force, that might be pretty good for June. Raan is not going to go for the set card at this point. Is just going to go for the Zen mains with the hope of taking it out this turn. It is a Mirror Force! Oh, Raan played that incorrectly! Wow, June is just hanging on for dear life with these fucking Mirror Forces. That's also good because Wind Up can pop one of those. Don't forget to use your Zen mains effect. Potentially can pop one of those solidarities. Going for the secret village of the spellcaster. I guess I get that. I don't love it though. Wind up Zen mains. Not switching the Zen mains to attack, which I also don't love. But we're getting in for damage at least. Still in a position where every single monster that Raan can draw handily deals with the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and we are indeed... No, we are just going to clean up the Zen mains this turn, not even respecting the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Alright, that's a really, really big Endymion. Let's see if June can find the out to it. Dragoonity that equips a card from the deck. And that is possibly... That seems to be just a possible level 7. Which is pretty nifty. Don't know how much it does. Black Rose Dragon would be okay, but it doesn't mean you lose the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It may be the only option, though. Yep, it is going to be Black Rose Dragon. Probably should have done this rather than AFD earlier, but still leaves June in a pretty good spot moving forward. That's the entire field popped, and I am assuming June doesn't have anything else unless she's got a spell card. Sure, just a terraforming to get a Dragon's Ravine into rotation. Lose the terraforming, send it back to Raan. Alright, we've got a Dragon's Ravine. Pitching another copy of Dragon's Ravine. Yep, Ducks is a good one here. Lets you scale up into 8. Once again, we can go into Colossal Fighter as essentially an unoutable asshole. Sending both of them to Graveyard. Oh, it's going to be Red Dragon Archfiend. Not sure why that other than like Colossal Fighter. But there's going to be a Fisher, but I'm pretty sure Dragon's Ravine can just end it next turn, right? Are we out of Duxes? There's an Ice Queen. That's a little, that's pretty whatever. If we, oh, oh, this is probably just straight up the end of the game. If we can get the Ducks and just scale up into Scrap Dragon, there is nothing that Raan can do about it. We have used 2 Duxes, I think that is the thing. Search a Ducks with Dragon Ravine, get Scrap Dragon and win. Alright, after a fashion, June is indeed going to force a game 3. Okay, I'm back. My brain needed a slight break. I have been doing this for solidly 4 hours now. It's funny too, cause I designed the ban list partially for this tournament not to run on too long. In the end, I don't think that the reason this tournament ran long can even really be attributed to stall at this point. All of the stall builds are out of the tournament. None of them are really responsible for making games run long. People took your ban list as a challenge. Um, I think a lot of it has to do with people just straight up being late to games and the weirdness of the brackets, and also just the fact that this format does require thought in what plays you decide to do. Um, but yeah, you are right, Aslion. People absolutely took my ban list where I said, let's not deal with stall as a challenge. But for what it's worth, I feel like I did a good job with that list. We're looking at a situation where our top 4 is going to consist of Dragoonity, Hero Rock, Dark World, and then either another Dragoonity or Spellbox. And I feel quite good about those top 4s. It's just taking a while to get through all of this. And part of that, too, does come back to, like, double elimination being the way it is. El Ruka has one hell of a good board at this point, but all of it is being held back by a singular ancient fairy dragon. Stardust Dragon is going to stop that MST, which should definitely make June very nervous about that back row. Aslion, if you think Bungus is best, you should have brought Bungus to this tournament and showed me, because I straight up don't believe you. I am not sure how Bungus does its thing in a... Holy shit! That is the end of the game, probably. I'll just go ahead and interrupt myself. We have a Sorcerer of Dark Magic. And it just completely negates all trap cards. But anyway, yeah, I'm not convinced that Bungus is the best deck right now, just because it's very easy to make Zen mains and make the game last a little bit longer, and... Oh, this isn't quite lethal. And once the game lasts a little bit longer, you're massively rewarded for pulling off these gigantic synchro payoffs, or like filling up your graveyard with ways to get a bunch of strong monsters on the field. So, like, I can see Bungus competing with these decks. I cannot imagine we're still in a place where Bungus is, like, easily the best one. That is it, y'all! June put up, quite a good duel there. In the end, it was Sorcerer of Dark Magic that just completely shut everything down. Yeah, and that is our top four, y'all.